Hello, guys. It's a new episode of Melon Sugar Podcast, and as always, it's with me, your host, Ket O, and I'm here with my honorable host, Kobe.
Melon.
Yeah, and as always, it's very, very exciting to be with you guys anywhere you guys are around the world. We absolutely love you, and we would like to say, continue subscribing, just support the show, please. You guys should support the show. We can't come and just, seriously, we know things are hard and everything, but you guys have to just support us. So the link is in the description below. Just tap on it, any amount. We will gladly see it and then give you a shout out in our next episode. So with our last episode, that was a rape and false accusation. We'd like to say big thank you to everyone who just listened and who shared their views through our Gmail and all that. Seriously, guys, I actually read a lot of funny things, and some of you guys were just telling about your stuff. And Delali, do you know that I got a message, let me say an email from someone who was just telling, like, he's a guy, so he was just telling something like his story or something with just like a phrase or something, and it was just he has been raped 3 times by women. And I'm like, hey, then so like when he said that, I was like, okay, then that means that he's not African or something. He's from South Africa. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he was actually like just expressing it, and I was so lost of words, and I just had a conversation with him on like just sending mail to her, and I'm like, oh, you should just take it easy, everything. And he just like, let me say, he just got a pop-up notification of something relating to that same topic, and after he was done with listening to that other podcast, he just had to just listen to the next one, which was the same thing. And I think he said he really liked how we factored everything into being, how everything. I'm like, okay. I was very, very happy. I was very happy that like our conversation that we had has really touched someone. So you guys can just click the link and just type in Melon Sugar to any podcast player out there and just listen to us. So we know it's been like some days now. We always make sure we give you guys frequent uploads weekly. So today we wanted to like talk more about stuff that could make us like motivated and stuff. So Delali, how do you stay motivated? Delali, how do you stay motivated? So Delali, as I was asking, like, how do you stay motivated?
So let me tell you, you know how a lot of people, when you ask them what motivates you to do whatever you want to do, they tell you, they want to change the world and whatever. Listen,
that's so funny.
It's so cliche. You understand?
Yeah.
For me, listen, in all honesty, it's the money. Listen, I'm not even going to lie about it. It's all about the money. I want the money. You understand? Come on, okay, not everyone really fancies, the flashy lifestyle and whatnot. I don't really fancy the flashy lifestyle, but however, I want to live comfortably.
Yeah, true. Me too. I want the money.
You understand? I want to live in comfort. I want all the things money can buy and afford.
Without the money, you can't do anything.
Exactly. You understand? So for me, it's that one thing that actually like motivates me. It's that one thing that makes me want to wake up very early in the morning, to hit the road. It's the money. Of course, there are other things. There are other things that motivate me, but primarily it's the money. It's the money.
For me, I'll say the money, and not necessarily like the material things. But for me, I'm someone that I always want to check my bank account and to make sure maybe I have something on me or something. Because I think the last time I got broke was last month. I don't know what happened. Seriously, I was so down to the extent that like I had to just make sure I bail myself out, because I told myself I'll never like tap into like my savings. So I had to just tap in it, because seriously, I was so broke to the extent that it even made me so stressed. I had to just go to work. I'll just sit down there, be unmotivated, be just sitting there. Seriously, I don't know, because I think let me say that's what made me to realize that okay, so part of my, let me say 80% of my body, whatever, like it needs money. My hands needs to feel money. So for me, I'll say money makes me motivated. That's the first thing that keeps me motivated. And the second thing will be, let me say, my goal. Seriously, for me, when I set a goal and I'm not able to like maybe achieve it, I have to, I don't know, a whole lot of things. I have to just sit down and just go back again and do everything. I don't want to like do what let me say, we'll say in accounting, like reconciliation. No. I want everything to be like balanced. I don't want to go back and just okay, this, that. Because for me, sometimes I feel pissed off, and I feel, let me say my energy level, whatever I've put into it, and it's not making that effort or something, I sometimes lose hope and confidence and everything. So for me, it's very, very hard for me to like get back to like being on track and being motivated and stuff. Yeah.
For me too. One thing that actually motivates me is personal aspirations.
Yeah.
We all have our our goals, aims, and aspirations. Sometimes when I look at mine, I'm like, yo, listen, if you don't get up to work on this thing, no one will. After all, it's for my own happiness. Most of these things I want to accomplish is for my own joy. Not necessarily, not really for someone else, either it being family and nuclear or extended. It's for myself. So a lot of times because listen, if today I decide to do something for someone, I'm not doing it for the person. I'm doing it because I want to. You understand? I'm doing it because I feel it will bring me, some sort of joy. You get it? So all these things, amount to, some sort of motivation. That's every time when, so even days I don't even feel like doing certain things.
Yeah.
I look at some of these things and I'm like, yo, you have to, you have to. You get it? So for me, listen, I derive motivation from a lot of things, but there are just a few, there are just a few ones that really, hit you hard.
Yeah.
Some don't really, make you want to do the things you don't want to do, and then there are certain things that would want you, would push you to do things you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You get it? And for me, these are some of the things. I look at my dreams, my aspirations, and my goals, and they are big. they are huge.
Yeah.
There are things that can't be done by someone else. Of course. If I meet someone who decides to give me $10 million, why not? I'll take it. But
hey,
no.
for me. Oh, you don't worry. Whatever that you want me to do, I will just do it. I'll just do it. Cause hey,
knowing that at the moment the $10 million isn't coming from anywhere. I have to motivate myself. I have to do the things that are required of me. I have to do the things that are needed. For me to get all the things that I hope for and dream for.
Okay, yeah. So let me phrase this thing. What if maybe one of our listeners, many people around the world, let me say, some people, their motivation are fixated on people's joy or something. So what would we say about those people? Because for me, there is one person that I know, a colleague of mine, let me say, a coursemate when I was in university. I don't know what happened to him, and I don't know where he is right now, but he had something about him that made me cringe. Like, let me say, whenever he's around, I'm like, no. He had this dark mood about him or something, because let me say, he's the most unmotivated person I've seen in my whole life. and surprisingly, you could see him walking to class, lectures, and he's so down in his spirit and everything. But if one person gets joy or something, like there's full of life in someone, or someone is happy or something, he will just become motivated in a way that for you even sitting down watching him, you feel jealous. So sometimes I think for me, I think when we were doing our national service, he was, let me say, when I was at the finance, he was at waste department. So I'll just go there and I'll be like, you are here, but you are, let me say, you are so down. But anytime that you have a conversation with him, let me say, immediately that I laugh, his energy level will just bounce back. So I'm like, how do they do it? Because seriously, it's so weird.
So yeah, I think I may have encountered people like that. So there are people who feed off from other people's joy. Seeing someone happy kind of inspires or motivates them. It makes, so it's just like majority. So I don't really know if it's the same. However, but then before, in time past, maybe in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, and maybe in the 90s, such people were the people who went into healthcare, who went into nursing, who mainly had healthcare. So doctors, nurses, midwives. Such people were mostly people who who derived some sort of joy and happiness from seeing other people do well or healthy. You get it? Of course, now we know times have changed and the situations have changed. Now people go into most of these professions because they want to, because of their own gains. However, there are those who go into it mainly because they just want to see other people happy. You get it? I have met people, especially teachers who, teachers I felt would have done better in other fields, because I just felt their knowledge was just going to waste in the teaching field. Because you look at them, you listen to them, and these people have so much to offer. They some of them can, some of them could have been very good scientists, could have been very good engineers and all, but then they are in the classroom teaching. And that's because most of these people, for them, what really motivates them is the fact that what motivates them is the fact that they wake up every morning to, instill knowledge into people, give people with them news. That's what makes them happy. There are people who own eateries, schools, hospitals, and it's for them. It's not because they want to make money from their business or from their setup. They do it because they see the happiness. They see the happiness it brings to people, and that alone is enough motivation for them. I watched a video on Instagram some time back. Was it a woman? I think a woman. She owned an eatery, and it almost looked as if almost everyone in the neighborhood at some point ate from her place. Students, workers, and people who live around. And for her, it wasn't about the money. So most of the things she sold were very cheap, like super cheap, extremely cheap. And a certain man, a rich man came, bought food, and then when the bill came, the bill was very, like, the bill was just some few dollars. And so the man was wondering, like, why is the thing so cheap? And then when he turned around, he saw the joy in people, the joy on people's faces, the happiness, and then he understood that, well, this person is not selling the food because she makes so much money from it. She sells it because it brings some sort of happiness and joy to the people around, to the students around, the children, the workers. You get it? So yeah, there are some people like that. There are people who genuinely, feel motivated from other people's, satisfaction and joy. You get it?
Yeah. So, okay. Because all you were saying something, I think I got, because, okay, so when will one say, because for me, if I'm unmotivated, let me say that. For me, I will say I would say I am, okay, let me say, if I'm unmotivated, I'm a stammerer, but you never know. If I don't tell you, you never know. So mostly, I think one time, mostly when I'm at work and when I'm not in the mood or something, then I think I begin to have, like, let me say, my speech gets like shortened or something, and so mostly my colleagues at work, one person who knows, so they are like, oh, for him, like, he was very shocked when I told him, like, oh, I'm a stammerer, but mine is not that severe like other people. For mine, if I'm in a bad mood or something, or someone has just pissed me off, just let me relax. Just let me have just let me be in my tight corner. Don't come and just exert pressure on me or something, because I might not be able to speak. So for me, if I'm unmotivated, it takes a toll on my everything. So how will you tell our listeners or someone? Because someone might say, okay, I'm always motivated, he doesn't need anything. So for him, he or she always gets to, like, continue to set his or her new goals, and then, let me say, achieve it. And, like, you see, some of them are living their normal sweet life. Like, how will you tell those people?
So for me, yeah, when I hear people say, for me, I am always self-motivated, I kind of doubt them, because listen, every human at a point in time, you don't feel the need to do the things you ought to do. You just don't, you just don't feel yourself. You're not just, sometimes you wake up and you're not in the mood. You feel you just want to lay in bed and not be bothered. However, when you start getting that feeling, one, you need to remember, or you need to remind yourself the reason you started doing whatever you are doing in the first place. So, for instance, if you are a teacher, you wake up one morning and you don't feel the need to go to school, or you don't want to go to school, you don't want to go to the classroom to teach. You need to remind yourself the reason you started, you went into the profession in the first place. If you are like me, who is doing whatever they are doing because of money, you need to remind yourself that, well, I have to be in the classroom to earn some money, to earn a living. I need the money. You understand?
But please, Delali, you should know that some people will never. We have people who are nurses, doctors, who they don't, for them, whatever, they don't care the money. They won't just, if they are not in them, they won't do anything. So for that people to tell someone that, oh nah, for like to have that, to be motivated for money. You see, for some people like that, you can't push them with money.
Yes.
Because,
I'm coming there. So
for that, that's the problem.
For such people, I feel so. For instance, if I own a shop in a particular neighborhood, I own a grocery store or a provision store, and I know that most of the people in the neighborhood purchase from me or shop from me, and I know very well that if I don't open my store today, that will mean, it will affect almost everyone in the neighborhood. You get it? It will create some inconvenience to the people who buy from me, from my customers.
Yeah.
The moment I feel I'm motivated to go and open my shop, I need to some place in my mind, I need to remember those people. You get it? I need to consider all the people I will inconvenience. You get it? So if you're a doctor and you have to be on duty and you decide not to, you need to put into consideration all the patients. You are risking their lives. You are risking their lives just because of your unmotivation or your decision to stay at home or to be unmotivated. You get it? Yeah. If you are a teacher and you decide not to go to the classroom, you need to consider all the children, the students. You are inconvenienced, because listen, there are people who travel far away to go to come to some of these schools. When I was in high school, not even high school, when I was in junior high school, we had people who had to travel kilometers, miles. Not even, who had to travel miles.
Yes, that's true.
Come to school. Just imagine a teacher deciding not to come to school or not to come to the class because they feel unmotivated, or they don't feel themselves, or they're not in the mood. Just imagine what you'd have put in all those kids through. Because listen, some have spent money. Now look at how transportations have skyrocketed or whatever. The English is not even coming. And someone now coming from Kaswa to 37, it's more than 10 cities. So if I have to take a car from Kaswa to somewhere in Accra, within Accra, and then I go to school and my teacher doesn't come, I have wasted that money. So if you're a teacher or a lecturer, you need to at least have some empathy. You understand? If you decide not to motivate yourself, at least consider the other people, the people you are rendering the service to. You understand? So sometimes there are days you feel unmotivated. There are days you feel you just don't feel, you're not just in the mood. You don't feel the rhythm. You just want to be by yourself, or just sleep in your bed. But then you put into consideration the people you are rendering your service to. I believe that alone, if you are really someone who who cares just a little about people, that alone will motivate you, because you wouldn't want to inconvenience anyone. You wouldn't want to be the reason someone's day is wasted. You get it?
Yeah. So as we end the show, let me say, for me, one of my favorite, phrases or quotes that I like is, setbacks are normal, but developing resilience can help you carry on and pick up where you left off from. For me, I think that's one of the quotes that I really, let me say, it's one of like phrases that I like so much. So as we are ending the show, let us just share with you guys what to do if you lose motivation. So I'm sharing my Delali to share here. So for me, I'll just say, review your goals and see if they are realistic. Please, some people, they don't have realistic goals. They just go about like crazy about whatever. For me, if you're like one of those people, you can't be my friend. And remember why you wanted to get motivated or reach that goal in the first place. Please reach it. Reach it, because it depends on you. It depends on our world now. You have to take chances, take risks, and do whatever you have to do, and then take motivation from others. There are some people that you don't take motivations from. For me, I know some people, my friends, I don't take motivation from them. So I always make sure, for me, it's very funny, because for me, they take motivation from me, but I don't take from them. Because for them taking their motivation, I think this will be very, very hard for me. So yeah. And lastly, feel inspired. Just love yourself. Just love how you are. Like wherever you are, just love it. So Delali, share with us yours, then you end the show for us.
Oh yeah. I will begin from where you ended. Remember remember why you began in the first place. Yeah. Whatever you are doing, remember the reason you started in the first place. Yeah. Secondly, as Kat said, set realistic goals, and then also don't move from step 1 to 10. Listen, one of the reasons a lot of people lose interest or become unmotivated is because they don't want to go the long run. They want to move. They just want to jump. They want to move from level 1 to level 10. It doesn't work like that. It's a step by step. You move from 1, then 2. You build momentum. You understand? Build momentum. Even if your car has double exhaust and has nitro, please don't just speed off. You get tired, and with the moment you get tired, you become unmotivated. So accelerate bit by bit. You start from 1. You start building momentum gradually. You be moving. It's a step-by-step process. You don't just get up one morning and set goals. The funny thing is, a lot of times people they know these goals are unrealistic. So let's set realistic goals we know we can achieve over time, a step by step. And then also before you decide you don't feel motivated or you don't want to do whatever you want to do. Remember the people who inconvenient. You are rendering services to people. You whatever you are doing, you're not doing just for yourself. You do it for others too. So you need to remember to remind yourself that, listen, whatever I'm doing, it's not just for my own benefits. It's for other people. In as much as the end product or the result come to you, it's services you are rendering to other people. So you put those people also into consideration. That alone, I feel these are just basic things I feel can help you in times when you feel unmotivated, in times you feel like you don't really want to do whatever you're doing anymore. these things where the moment you remember why you began, the moment you remember that, listen, whatever I'm doing also helps someone else. That alone, gingers you. It gives you some fresh hope and fresh, strength to go through the day or to go and continue whatever you are doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm. So
so I think should I end? Okay, let me end today's.
It's all on you today.
Okay. So yeah, so I think that would be all for our discussion today. We entreat everyone to subscribe to our channel, our podcast, share, and then also you can also support us through our patrons. Listen, most of these donations or these supports we get from you people, it goes a long way to also help us bring you most of this educative topics, discussions. Because listen, you never know who most of these things. A lot of people, there's someone out there who feels unmotivated. We do this so at least you can also ginger yourself, kickstart, reignite the passion for whatever you are doing. So yeah, I think until then, we'll catch you same time next week. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.